public school system has been structurally designed to indoctrinate children into critical race theory, gender ideology, climate ideology, feminist ideology, and atheism. And you may agree with some of these ideologies, you might disagree, but there's no question that schools are designed to indoctrinate children into these ideologies. So the question every parent must ask is, how can I protect my child's brain from school indoctrination? How can I give them the shield of intellectual self-defense? And you do that by teaching your kids logic, the logical fallacies, primary versus secondary sourcing, and having them fill out discernment charts. So you start with the logical fallacies, which are common manipulations made within arguments. I'll post this screenshot on my Instagram story. Sourcing primary versus secondary documents is about proving where claims come from and if they have validity. And discernment charts, which are the visual representation of how information is filtered through the brain. I know, how I know, I think I know, why I think that, I heard, and where I can look to find more information. And by doing this, you're teaching your children to identify what their teachers get wrong and to force their teachers to prove claims. The next thing you want to do is teach your children systems thinking. So the medical industrial complex is a system. The media industrial complex is a system. The military industrial complex is a system. So what's the history of that system? What are military contractors? What is the revolving door and how does it function? How do you track the money? How do you track the lobbying money? And how do you track people? It's about understanding the levers and incentives that drive the world. Then we want to teach our kids the scientific method over scientific authority. And it all comes back to what can you prove, and forcing yourself and forcing others to prove their claims. And last but not least, historical studies. They should be reading books like Propaganda by Edward Bernays, and the books they would never let kids read in school, like One Nation Under Blackmail, and the primary writings of people on both sides of historical conflicts, even if that makes people uncomfortable, because that's how you get back to the truth, and that's how you develop a real comprehensive understanding of not only historical events, but how the world actually functions. And if you do that, your kids will develop intellectual self-defense. Check out my amazing educational resources and my books on how information is controlled, the history of fake news, how the money system was conquered, how money corrupts systems, and so much more. ClassicalLearner.com